Hello, Ralph and Jesse. This is Paul. I just wanted to, and why not? Just wanted to go through. We had some difficulty on the sent you an email, but we had some difficulty on the sales voyage, and one of the difficulties was that we had trouble getting fuel to the engine. So we have checked. Our fuel line is okay. This is brand new fuel line, but we thought, well, maybe that something in the fuel has attacked the fuel line. But we opened it up. Can you hold that open, Matt? We took a little section off next to the fuel pump, opened it up. It looks good and clean. We did find that there's still debris in the fuel tank. We took this filter and cut the bottom of the filter off. And so we're seeing a lot of debris being filtered out, but that's what's supposed to happen in the fuel filter, is we're supposed to filter the debris out, anything that was remaining in the tank. Some of this stuff does stick to a magnet, so it may be that the tank is further deteriorating, but we're letting it dry out, and we'll stick a magnet on it and see if this gets picked up by the magnet once it's not wet anymore. The other issue that our prospective buyer had was the way the seats, when they get wet. This is actually dry now, but you can see where the bottle was sitting while we were out there, and it had some condensation on the bottle initially. So when these seats get wet, they turn white, and I don't know if the seats are actually leather. You probably have noticed it happening as well. As a matter of fact, you mentioned it to us. But when the seat gets wet, it turns white. And so our prospective buyer, that really turned him off, that he wouldn't be able to use it. He said that would drive him crazy while he was out in the water. But the main thing is we had was this thing like ran out of fuel, and we tried to. I thought maybe it was vapor lock, but it didn't have any fuel in the system at all. And today we used a outboard motor fuel pump, like you would prime an outboard motor with, and we were able to pull fuel through the system quite well. I thought maybe we had the dip tube in the tank, maybe you had a air leak in it, or we were sucking in air somewhere in the fuel system, but that proved not to be the case. So really the problem's gone away once again, unexplained. It could be vapor lock. It was 106 degrees the day we were out, and we'd only been able to test this boat to 95 degrees, so it might be vapor lock. Another thing, can't rule it out. Another thing was that we noticed on this trip was that at these ventilators, there's a pipe under that ventilator. I don't know if you can see it in the darkness here, but maybe this will adjust. Anyway, then there's another pipe over here, and under this ventilator we have a pipe as well going down to the bottom, and then over here we did have a pipe under that ventilator, but I took it off. It's laying in the boat, and the reason I took it off is that when the boat is sitting still, not moving, there was really no way for the hot air that goes to the top of the engine compartment to get out. Only the air that was down near the bottom was going to get out, and our hot air goes to the top and our cold air goes to the bottom. Therefore, we weren't getting any cooling when the boat was sitting at rest. So another thing I noticed, we've put on a new spin-on filter back here. And while I was working with the filter in the water the day we were having trouble, this engine really does get awfully hot. The oil gets awfully hot. The transmission is oil cooled, and I got up against the transmission several times, and it was extremely warm. So I'm not advocating the oil cooler like I was at one time when I thought we were missing an oil cooler, but we are still getting really hot, and it may be just in part a rebuilt engine being extremely tight. I really can't come up with any other reasons for the heat that we're experiencing. The water temperature coming out of the boat was actually quite reasonable, not terribly hot. So, coming out here at the exhaust pipe. So, really don't have a lot of explanation, but that's what we went through. So I did want to fill you in on that. And so here's the video update along with the email. So we'll talk to you soon, Ralph and Jesse.